Hi, thanks for watching. This is Jessie, and I'm going to be reviewing Thistlefoot by GennaRose Nethercott. Big thank you to NetGalley for providing an ARC of this wonderful book. So, this is posited as a modern fairy tale, and it follows the Yaga siblings, Bellatine and Isaac, and this is a couple generations forward from Baba Yaga, and they've kind of become estranged in their adult years. As children, they help their parents out with a puppet show that they knew by heart. They knew the puppet lines. They knew where everything went in the set. And Isaac runs away when he's 17, and Bellatine feels like he's abandoned her because they were they were thick as thieves as children. As adults, they don't talk. She's become kind of bitter in the fact that she feels that in a crazy family, her one ally left her. She's turned to carpentry work, so she works with her hands, and he has leaned into a kind of con spirit. He has wanderlust, he hops trains, but when his best friend Benji dies, he's so much more lost than he was before. They get notification from a lawyer that they are going to be receiving an inheritance from an old family member. So they're told to meet at a shipping yard, which they find rather strange to begin with. She gets a hold of Isaac, and to her surprise, he actually turns up. Bellatine didn't think that Isaac was going to turn up. She thought that he was just going to disappear like he normally does after she gets in contact with him. But he does. He shows up, and when they open the shipping crate, there's a house inside. And so this story follows the goings on of the House of Baba Yaga generations forward as it makes its way to America with the Yaga siblings. In Isaac's head, the best way to utilize this house with chicken legs that walks and is apparently a sentient being is to take it on the road and do a replication of the puppet show that they presented as children with their parents. And he kind of blackmails Bellatine into agreeing with this by saying that she will have bought out his half of this inheritance if he's able to keep all of the earnings from this show that they're going to take on the road. She reluctantly agrees because as soon as she steps into the house, she feels at home in a way that she never has before because Bellatine also has a secret. She has the embering, which is she can touch things like puppets and bring them to life. She can give them a heartbeat. And granted, it only lasts for a little while, but before she really knew the consequences of what she did, she brought a dead deer to life, and it's something that she has been haunted with her entire life. And so her ability scares her. She does not view it as a gift, she views it as a curse, and she tries to keep it at bay by doing the carpentry work, by doing something with her hands that brings it to life in a non-magical way. Isaac has a way of mimicking people in such that he could be standing next to you and he can mimic you to the point where somebody watching thinks that there's two of you. And he doesn't think that it's any kind of magical ability. He just thinks that that's the way he is. He can do these things. And he is unreliable. You can tell from the way that he's reacting to the house and the things that happen that he's unreliable. Bellatine is afraid that he's going to go back on his word. And then they find out that somebody is after them. And this somebody has followed them from overseas to America, and they are intent on finishing something that was started years and years ago. So I got through about 80% of this book, and then I read chapter 43. And chapter 43 is how I ended up in the quiet hours of a gray, drizzly morning, bawling my eyes out on the couch before my family woke up. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know how I didn't see where this was going, because thinking back on the book, I should have known. But it was heartbreaking. Oh my goodness. I just couldn't bear it. I had to stop reading and get up and go do the dishes before I continued on. It was so it was so intense. And then the writing itself is amazing. I wish I could quote from this book, but it's an ARC, so we're not supposed to quote from it. But there's moments when things are just when like sounds are described in ways that are not normally associated with sounds that is so genius and incredible and touching. This is one of those books, I swear, I'm getting to the point where I need to stop reading ARCs because I keep buying these books as soon as they come out, and I don't do that. I go buy books at like half price books, but like with Rabbits by Terry Miles, and now Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zavine. And there's another one I think also. I'm buying these books because I love them so much. This one, I'm not only going to buy for myself, I'm probably going to end up having copies of these sent to like my best friend, my sister. It comes out on September 13th, so I I recommend this book. I am asking you, if you don't want to buy the book, um, go borrow it from the library or wait for it to go on sale on ebook. Read this book. It touched me so immensely, not just with the subject matter, but with the writing style as well. Again, it's not a children's book. It's not something you can read to your 8 or 9 year old while they're going to bed. I mean, I guess you could if you censored out some things, but um, it's it's an incredibly lyrical book, and I am hoping to read more by GennaRose. I did read at the end that she's a poet, and she actually does. She went and she got a whole bunch of like people who are masters at their craft, like people who work in carpentry and people who work with puppets, and she herself actually travels kind of like a bard but for poetry, which is really interesting. I think that she got the traveling aspect of this down pretty well. There's things that Isaac goes through in his wanderlust while he's hopping trains that she got from other people too. She talked to people who are train hopping connoisseurs, I suppose, and she did a really incredible job with the research that went into writing this book. And of course there's a historical aspect to it too, and I guess that's it. I'll stop talking now. If I'm trying not to give you any spoilers because there's certain things that if I mention them, I mean, it unravels the whole plot, and I'm gonna spoil it for you. So I'm gonna stop. But I give this book because I am gonna have to go rate it on NetGalley and Goodreads. I give this book 5. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe below.